Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Best Star Wars droid.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Welcome, everybody.
Hello. This is very exciting, Hal.
This is very exciting. The crossover is happening. People are like,
Yeah.
You host We Got This. You host Tights and Fights. When are the Tights and Fights people going to be on We Got This? First of all, quiet. Settle down. Second of all, here's Lindsey Kelk.
Yay, that's me.
Hi, Lindsey.
Hi. I'm so excited.
Yes, not only are you a member of the Nation of Conversation, but also you host another podcast of your own called Full Coverage Beauty Podcast.
I do.
And you're an accomplished author.
Allegedly, yes.
The iHeart books, children's books.
So many books.
So many books.
Yep.
And yet, I gave you our entire list of topics. And you, among the ones you chose were Best Star Wars Droid.
Yes.
Why?
Because I also love Star Wars.
Fair enough.
And I like to talk about it with people.
Mark,
Well, that's exactly what we are here for.
That's amazing.
Is to talk about Star Wars. I gotta say, I had heard that Tights and Fights existed, but I didn't believe it until now.
It does sound like the kind of thing someone might make up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I was vaguely aware of Hal having another significant other in the podcast realm. And I will try not to hold it against you, Lindsey.
I think we're just his side piece, so it's okay.
yeah,
Don't worry.
please. I'm coming home to you, Mark.
He didn't take us out on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't even take his wife out on Valentine's Day. He took me out. It was awkward for everybody.
Yeah, remember we recorded while we were on that gondola and Jennifer was just standing on the shore with her arms crossed? So romantic. For Jennifer
Wasn't
and I.
it?
Yeah,
Oh
it
my
really
God.
was.
Well, yeah, conflict is romantic, and I'm trying to sow the seeds of conflict. Speaking of sowing the seeds of conflict, let's get in a great big, not tights, but possible fight about droids.
Yeah, let's do it. First of all, this was suggested by Maya via email. Thank you.
Hi, Maya, and thank you.
Appreciate it. Don't know when it was suggested. Maybe years ago at this point. But we finally got to. This is our first Star Wars topic in a while.
It is. Also, is it our first email topic in a while? Because I remember there was like a 2-year period where you just had not checked the email for the show, and I don't even know how to log into it. And then you texted me or called me and were like, "Hey, man, so I just got into the email for the show, and wow, there's a lot of questions in here."
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. You're about to get that call from me again soon.
Oh, great.
Guarantee you that. But yeah, this is, when I texted you that Lindsey had selected this, you were like, well, this is a 2-horse race. And I think that's incorrect. I think it's a 3-horse race. But
I think, it's potentially a 4-horse race.
Oh.
4 horses?
Controversial.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Practically the Grand National.
Wait, I want to hear Lindsey.
Pestilence, death,
What,
famine.
Lindsey, you have a handle on 3 of the horses.
I do.
Clearly.
I would assume the 3 key horses are going to be R2-D2, C-3PO, and BB-8.
Yes, but what do you think the 4th is? I don't want Mark to reveal it just yet.
I don't know. It could be that wacky droid that we just chatted about from Solo.
Oh, you mean,
Whose name I don't know.
L337.
There we go.
L337?
Because I have not watched Solo, which I'm sure we're going to get into. But there's also a cool droid in Rogue One.
K2SO.
Yes.
I think that's the
K2SO is
horse.
Yeah, because it's like Drax in droid form.
Yeah.
And we didn't enjoy that.
Okay, so it's a 5-horse race.
I'm very happy to discount Solo.
I don't think L337 needs to be.
L337, she becomes the Millennium Falcon.
All right, that's a good point.
All right, guys, can I just ask a quick question since we're about to do a Star Wars episode?
Uh-huh.
I still, and maybe this is a whole other topic, I think it's just the fact that Harrison Ford in an American accent said Falcon in the first movie. So as an American voice, do I call it the Millennium Falcon and Harrison Ford was just slightly wrong?
I know.
Or do I have to call it? Do I have to call it the Millennium Falcon?
Falcon.
Oh, see,
Falcon.
Yeah, but you're
I
English.
think I say Falcon.
Yeah,
But then I don't know anymore because I've been in America so long. I say words differently and don't remember how I used to say them.
What's an example of that?
I can never remember router or router anymore, or route, because we would say route in England, and here it's route, and I say route without even thinking.
I say route.
Are you reverse Madonna-ing?
Oh.
Yes, I am doing a reverse Madonna.
Wow.
Which actually sounds fine.
Yeah.
It actually sounds okay.
She does one of those in the Justify My Love video as well. She does like 3 of them. It's very uncomfortable to watch.
With your family.
Yeah, with your family. Mom, leave the room. Watch the music videos.
Oh, my God.
Before we talk about these 5, we can put L337 in there. It makes sense. She is the Falcon.
Yeah. And she also is the only one fighting for droid rights.
That's true. She's a pioneer in droid rights. Doesn't seem to work out so well based on what happens later on. There's still a lot of restraining.
Very true.
Fighting for your rights never works out in movies, and I don't want to go off topic, but poor Dobby. She's the Dobby of the piece.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like, oh
wow.
My God.
Is the Falcon her sock that frees her?
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I once years ago, I saw the Harry Potter Lego sets.
Yes.
And there was this giant, beautiful Hogwarts castle. They had, Hagrid's hut. They had all these beautiful Harry Potter giant Lego things, but I did not have much money that day. And the only one that I could afford to buy was, a teeny tiny little one that depicts the scene of Lucius Malfoy giving Dobby a sock.
How do you build that?
Yeah. It's a little platform. And then there's a little sock. There's actually a little sock and a tiny book, and a little Harry Potter figure. Look, it's mostly just figures. The set is not that elaborate. It's like a high school production of a Harry Potter story. It's not as elaborate as as like buying Hogsmeade.
Fair enough. I'd still take it.
Yeah.
Right. It was pretty cool.
Let's talk. Before we get to the 5, I just want to talk about some of the droids that definitely aren't going to win.
Yes.
That we remember fondly.
Yes.
I've got 11 extra droids that I'm very excited to talk about. No, 10 extras.
Can I ask, is one of them the Gonk droid from the Jawa Sandcrawler?
Of course one of them is the Gonk droid.
It's just a refrigerator with feet.
Yeah. That's basically all that they're batteries, right? The Gonks, that's what they are?
Is that what they are? Oh, you did some research here.
I did some. Look, I told you, I'm coming in hot, baby. I'm coming in hot.
I assume they were just for either pushing things.
Yeah. Have you seen the robots they have now in hospitals that deliver paperwork?
No.
So they look they look like this droid, and they just send themselves around hospital. And I saw this in South Carolina, so it's like a thing.
Yeah.
And it has a smiley face on it, and it coats in and out of elevators, and it delivers paperwork to different floors. And I was terrified for the first 3 days of seeing it coming, because it just comes down the hallway, and it looks exactly like it. And I was just like, I don't know how to feel about this. They're taking over, and they're starting with our hospitals. But yeah, so it's possibly pushing things around, or it's delivering paperwork to nurses' stations.
They're like,
I like to think that, like a Gonk, those are actual batteries, and those go around to all the people who are on who have assorted life support needs, and like, just here to recharge you.
Yeah. Can we get a hand on this dialysis machine? Gonk. Gonk. All right. Thanks, Larry.
Oh no. We need to defibrillate someone. Get giant Gonk.
Gonk.
Oh.
What is one, Lindsay, that you would think of as one that would not be a finalist, but that you love? A droid that stands out.
All of it. I always enjoyed the poor little battle droids that suck so hard.
Oh.
Because I was like, oh, look at him trying.
The dumb ones that are
Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because shenanigans are afoot, because they're just a diversion technique. They're like, oh, they're going to send them off in another direction now. That's why they've come.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, and it doesn't make any sense, because the theory is they should be so great, because they're so nimble, and they have their own shield.
Yeah.
An impenetrable shield, and they shoot through it. They should be just cleaning up.
And those lithe swan necks.
Yeah, I mean, it's very elegant. It's a very elegant droid.
They have 2 guns.
But then they just seem so dumb.
Yeah.
Now, are you talking about the ones that like roll and have multiple legs, like spider legs, and shoot the 2 guns and have the big blue shields around them?
With the, yeah.
Right. Oh, those are the second, not the ones that run around.
Oh, no, I'm
thinking, The ridiculous, like Keystone Cops battle droids.
Right.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
You're talking about the ones that are a little bit harder to kill because they're the ones that Anakin and Qui-Gon run away from, right? I don't even think they fight them. They're like, we should get out of here. These guys have shields.
Who wouldn't like their own force field? I would like that.
I would love my own force field.
It's a good time.
I'll take a force field.
Could have used it when I had that car accident.
No, wait to bring it down, Hal.
My attorneys will deal with it. Don't worry.
Talk to us about the midwife droids and really mix this up.
The midwife droid, she only was there. We only saw her once, right? We only saw her when Amidala was giving birth.
I believe so.
Ooh, like really weird, like Swedish.
Yeah.
Swedish, of course. Swedish midwife.
It's nice.
Seems a little bit on.
I mean, this is what they're talking about when they say people are coming for our jobs. This is it.
Right. Is she? I feel like she is, like, even looking at her, she's like the Apple version of the 2-1B surgical droids.
Yes.
They're a little rougher. Those are a little, you can see more of the pistons and wires.
Yeah, she's
and then in comes this elegant midwife droid. It's like, ooh, did Steve Jobs make this one?
I don't want those other droids treating me, the ones that treated Luke.
No.
Because they don't appear to have any bedside manner at all. Like, their hands are prongs. What happens when you need a colonoscopy?
Well, yes, but Luke lived and Amidala didn't. So, I don't know.
Hey, when your solution for everything is dunk him in water, put him in the Bactine tank, he'll be fine.
Maybe if they thought to put Amidala in the Bactine tank, well, she might still be around and we would not have had any of the other movies.
I realize I'm saying Bactine and it's Bacta, because Bactine is an actual thing you put on scrapes and cuts.
It is.
Yeah, I was thinking of, you said Bactine, and for some reason I thought of that Barbicide gel. That like blue thing that they keep the combs in.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure isn't even a real thing.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's an illusion.
Yeah.
It's just scope.
It's like the button on the walk signal.
Yeah.
It does nothing.
It does absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It should just, when you press that button, it should just say, good job. Look at you pressing that button. So proud of you. I want to shout out IG-88.
Oh, the big scary one from Empire?
Yeah, he's a bounty hunter. Yeah. That's a droid who has gone out and made something of itself. It has gone out and gotten a job on its own. It works for
that droid.
That's true.
A servant of no masters.
It's like Pretty Woman. Like, I say who, I say how much, I say who. That's every day. That's what IG-88 says when it focuses one of its lenses on a mirror.
It says its affirmations every morning.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like it's obviously good enough. And I remember reading like short bounty hunters, like anthologies. I forget his story, but it's pretty cool that when you call.
But it's the same as Pretty Woman, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But he's like one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy, and he's a droid. He happens to be a droid.
What is his? I mean, I'm fascinated as to how he got to where he is, because did someone program him to want to be a bounty hunter? Does he have an end goal? Is he trying to amass a fortune for something, or does he just do it for the sheer fun of it?
I don't remember, and I think for the purposes of this, because I know that we'll have listeners who will jump in and be like, "Here,
the
glasses will be pushed up." We're just gonna go with droids who have been in films. Can we agree to that?
Mm-hmm.
They have to have appeared in a film, and we're not taking any of their extended universe or comic book.
Which again is why my uncle is currently ringing in, and there's no number, but he's calling right now to say, I would like to speak to you about what is and isn't canon. Which is my every Christmas.
Because
oh my goodness,
there's that lightsaber droid from, I think is it Clone Wars or Rebels? It's one of the cartoons, but basically they have a droid that's an Ollivander. And he just gives young Jedis their first lightsaber.
How magical.
What is going on with this crossover?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's amazing. Also because I just last week watched all the Harry Potter movies, so I think my brain is still in that realm a little bit.
That's my every other week. So I mean,
fair enough.
What's another also ran for you, Mark? What else do you have on your list?
I would like to give a shout out to the droid that arguably started the entire hero's quest of A New Hope. And that droid is R5-D4.
Oh, yeah.
Because if he had not had a bad motivator, Luke never would have gotten R2-D2, who's probably going to win. And the saga never would have happened.
Certainly, that was... do you think R2-D2 sabotaged him?
It would be
I mean,
classic R2-D2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Vintage
pretty good at
R2-D2.
sabotage.
He's a dick.
You know what?
Yeah, just murder another droid. No problem at all.
He is a sociopath. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
He's
Well, he
definitely
had-
a sociopath.
R2-D2 did have to get Luke to buy him. That's why he was there.
Yeah. And
So-
3PO.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would not surprise me if he actually killed R5-D4.
I would like to see that comic.
War does terrible things to a droid.
I have a few more on here that I think are worth mentioning. The mouse droid,
Oh yeah.
which is just basically an RC car.
Yeah. That's right. Got scared off by Chewbacca in New Hope.
Yeah.
They always kind of show up. They're always there.
And of course the torture ball when
Is that a droid?
Darth Vader's trying to get Princess Leia. Now it sounds like when he's trying to get the Princess Leia there, you know.
Tony Maselli,
Yeah.
Jedi Knight.
Yeah. Darth Vader with Princess Leia. When he's trying to get information out of her. And then this ball just, comes in with needles sticking out of it, aimed at eyes.
Yeah.
It's a terrifying droid. Not all droids are good.
Dentistry, but as
Oh.
a child, that's where my brain went. They're like, oh, they got the dentist droid in. That's what they do.
Oh, wow. See, you're a more practical person, Lindsay. My mind went, well, clearly that's the eye needle droid.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess eye stuff are going to do more damage, but I felt like torture was more traditionally dental oriented. I watched
Yeah,
some really
they go in
strange
the mouth.
films as a child. So
Sure.
I was like,
You saw
I'm
the
familiar
Marathon
with this.
Man.
Yes. I mean, not, but yes. I was like 7, but still.
I have a couple more honorable mentions, but Lindsay, what other honorable mentions do you have that you can think of
off the top
offhand?
of my head, it's trickier. I'm not a details person.
Sure.
I'm a bigger picture person. I always loved the droids that quite clearly were built the night before in the props department by someone who just only has a trash can. I like those things. And I'm talking
Sure.
about like episodes 4 to 6. Like I
Yeah.
love those shonky practical effects. They're my favorite things. It's like got a trash can? Got some grey paint. It's not even like silver paint. It's just grey paint. It's like turn it upside
Yeah.
down, put it on top of that remote control car, and you've got a character.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Kenner's going to make so much money off of you.
one of my favorite things.
Here are two. One is TT8LY7.
Whoa. That is a lot of, that's a long name for a droid.
Does anybody want to guess which droid that is?
TT8 L57.
Y7.
LY7.
LY7.
That is-
Oh, that makes a difference. I had no idea.
If you go to Jabba's palace and you knock on the door, he pops out
Oh.
and he's the doorman. He's Jabba's doorman. Or maybe just the what Ring will eventually become is you'll press a button and a globe will come out.
Yeah.
What are you doing here? You have to leave.
What is his name?
His name is TT8LY7, I believe.
I just
Okay.
want you to keep saying it. Just over and over.
TT8LY7, check it in. But I love that sort of, he's like a really odd exchange with 3PO. I'm still not clear why the door opens. Maybe
No.
because they say they're a gift from Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
Or they say, I don't even know if they say that. Don't they just say we seek an audience?
Maybe
with
he's
Jabba?
just bored. Maybe he's just having a
Yeah.
slow day. And it's like a bouncer on a club where it's a slow evening and you're like, let's just throw this in the mix and see what happens.
Yeah, he does just live inside a door. He's
Yeah.
probably happy when anybody's there.
Yeah. He's like, let's see you do some work today inside door drawers.
Yeah. Oh, must be so nice to walk. You enjoy using those legs and wheels, you jerks.
Open that door. Let him in.
And then the gong says, whoa, look, feet are all I have.
Gong, gong.
But then they could be
Let me have
friends,
something.
and together they would make a whole droid.
Yeah, where's that midnight
Yeah.
run?
Hang on a second. Hal, did you say gonk gonk he's a Groot?
Yeah. I mean, he is. Have you ever heard him say anything else? Gonk.
You can only
Gonk.
say gonk, gonk. Oh.
Yeah. He is Gonk.
Gonk.
We are Gonk.
Do you have any more honorable mentions, Hal or Lindsay?
One more, EV-99, also working in Jabba's palace as the foreman and torturer of other droids.
Oh,
And,
yeah. The one
famously
who's
says-
branding a droid.
Yeah, and he has a great voice. So he's like, you'll serve nicely on the master's sail barge. Like, how does he know that? Just because, oh, you have rounded shoulders and we have a tray that fits you. Mind carrying drinks around?
You're gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to teach you the bunny hop. All the droids do it every hour.
Look, man, he should know. Don't say shoulders around R2-D2. It's a real trigger word.
Not cool. Not cool.
Not cool.
We call them leg rounders. They're not shoulders. And don't say neck, or I'll electrocute you. I can do it. I've done it before.
All right, I have one more honorable mention I want to throw out there.
Okay.
That is 3B6RA7.
Fake name.
You're just making them up now.
Now you're just combining letters and numbers.
3B6RA7, sold by Kenner as the Death Star droid. Even though he was never on the Death Star, he was in the Jawa Sandcrawler, and he looked like a C-3PO, like humanoid character, but he was just the grumpy old man in the Jawa holding pen.
Is that the same one that has the face that looks like Howdy Doody, like a weird marionette face where it's like...
Yes, it's got like a funny
It's got
mouth.
like a weird smile. I'm doing it right now, which is perfect for the podcast of the audience. I know. Believe me, it was a fantastic rendition. And Mark is not in the studio with us, so he can't see it either. So only 2/3 of us enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it immensely.
And guess
I'm sure it was great. Hi, Julian. Did you enjoy the face, Julian?
He wasn't looking. He wasn't looking.
Aww.
Lindsay, do you have anyone else, or do you want to get into these big five?
I was just thinking of the probe droid. I remember.
Oh, yes, of course.
Around, and I do remember like thinking that was really cool as a kid.
Yes.
Because anything that could fly as a kid. And I know they actually suck because they just blow up. But
yes.
I was like, that would be fun to have if you were a kid. You would want a probe droid that you could just send out to spy on things, because we didn't have drones in the 80s.
Yeah, but you'd have to keep buying them, wouldn't you? Because the way that it signals that it's found something is by exploding itself.
Yeah, well, I assume in this fantasy where I own a probe droid, my resources are endless. And I would be able to buy many probe droids.
Sure.
You have so many credits. To be fair,
you have that probe droid factory.
I'll be the actually on this one. When they hit it, it self-destructs, so they can't figure out what it is.
Yeah.
But we never got to see what any of the cool arms did.
No.
Can you imagine?
So many cool arms.
Oh, if you just set it loose at a forest, it's like, I'm going to take a dirt sample and a water sample and a rock sample and a tree sample, done.
And bring it all back home.
And then it takes off.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm the probe droid. I'm going to be in this forest taking samples. I assume it sings. That's what.
Well, he looks melodic.
Yeah, if you run like through a translator, that's what you get.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I'm probing an ice.
You get it singing and collecting samples. Of ice, really. Yeah. It's just collecting ice samples.
Oh no, a Wookiee better fire at him. Didn't work out well. Sorry, probe droid.
Never does. Never fire at a Wookiee.
Thank you for thinking it. Never fired a Wookiee. Rule 1. That's a business book I had to read in college.
Yeah,
Never fired a Wookiee.
Syllabus everywhere, guys.
Yeah. Forget who moved my cheese. Never fired a Wookiee. That's the real advice that will help you in the corporate world.
Wait, what is Who Moved My Cheese?
It's a management book that I read once.
Oh, okay.
And I cannot remember what it's about. Do you remember it?
I don't. We didn't have that in England. I imagine it would have been more along the lines of, please, if you don't mind ever so much, could someone pop my cheese back? Would be the British response to that. But I don't know. I don't know it. I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
In England, no one would have ever moved your cheese.
No one would have done that.
So there is no need for that book.
Even the mice are like, ever so sorry.
Just go take a look at it.
Okay. Real quickly, just because you're English and we're mentioning cheese.
No, please.
What is the most ridiculous name for an English cheese that you can think of?
Oh no, there's so many that are ridiculous.
There's so many great ridiculous names.
God, I don't even know. I mean, they don't even seem ridiculous to me because I know them. But I've had a lot of people ask me a lot of questions about Wensleydale. Most commonly known through Wallace and Gromit animation, because he loves a bit of Wensleydale.
Oh, sure.
Wow, I don't even know.
Wensleydale is pretty great.
Wensleydale's pretty intense. Yeah. I mean, I was even like Red Leicester. It's like, why is it Red Leicester? I'm like, it's because it's orange and it's from Leicester. It doesn't make any sense. It's not from Leicester. It's cheese. We just like nonsensical things. It's like throwing extra letters in words for no reason. It's a fun thing that we do.
That's all right. We take them out when they get here.
No, I've noticed. Thank you. So much more efficient.
Well, let's do this. We know what our final 5 are, the final 5 droids. We know who they are. So we'll take a quick break. You'll hear from some of the other fine shows on Max Fun, maybe even Tights and Fights, especially if the email we get that week says you can promote whatever other show you want. It will definitely be Tights and Fights. It will always be Tights and Fights on this show. We'll be right back.
How dare you?
Fine. It's a fine. You'll hear from them. We'll be right back.
Hi, it's Ali Kokesh, one of the cast members of Mission to Zix, a new addition to the Max Fun network. We're blown away by the welcome we've received from Max Fun listeners, telling us you've discovered the show and are binging it hard, supporting us during the drive, and just being rad humans all around. Mission to Zix is an improvised, obsessively sound-designed sci-fi comedy epic, following a group of ambassadors as they explore the ass end of space. I play Dar, the 12-foot-tall omnisexual security officer with furry scales, chest talons, and a series of flaps and shoots that are for... you know what, you'll figure it out. We'd be delighted if you joined our crew aboard the aging sentient starship, the Bargerian Jade, as we travel the Zix Quadrant, meeting all sorts of weird aliens played by brilliant guest comedians. That's Mission to Zix, ZYXX.
Welcome, everyone, to the live wrestling spectacular in Los Angeles.
So far, the world's most boring wrestling podcast has been destroying the competition.
Isn't there anyone who can save us from this travesty? Wait, could it be?
It's Tights and Fights, the perfect wrestling podcast.
Tights and Fights is here to save us from the monotony of boring wrestling podcasts with hilarious conversations.
Woke trips through the history of wrestling.
And joke about the finer points of people wearing spandex. What a match!
And the Tights and Fights podcast will be back every week.
Thursdays on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get podcasts. Please, these hosts have families.
Tights and Fights podcast. Tights and Fights.
All right, we're back.
I'm going to start my own side piece about amateur wrestling, backyard wrestling. Yeah.
It's going to be called headgear and fear.
It's going to be called pajamas and loose old mattresses.
Trampolines and insurance nightmares.
Yeah. I was trying to work out how to throw concussions in there, so thank you for beating me.
Yeah. Moonsaults and ambulances.
All right. Let's talk about the big five droids, and they are C-3PO, R2-D2, L3-37 from Solo, BB-8 from The Force Awakens, and K-2SO from Rogue One.
I feel like we can eliminate L3-37 right away.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she does fight for droid rights, and even though she is the Millennium Falcon.
I mean, mad props to her for becoming the Millennium Falcon, sacrificing herself and becoming part of the ship.
Yeah,
it is a huge part of one of the dozen stories.
That's polite.
Yeah, I was just she is British, right? So
she is.
It all checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of two British droids who made, I mean, a full 40% of the final is
proud.
British.
Pretty proud right
Not
now.
bad.
We don't know what BB-8 and R2-D2 are. They could be.
That's true.
Could be Sheffield Steel there.
And I think K2SO is also British. Isn't Alan Tudyk doing a British accent?
I thought he was doing sort of a mid-Atlantic accent.
Maybe so. Maybe it is a little
bit. Both countries.
But certainly British influenced.
Yeah.
You know what he's doing? He's doing a Madonna.
Yeah. He's doing a straight Madonna. He's doing a forward Madonna.
Yeah, you're doing the reverse Madonna. K2SO is doing the full Madonna.
It's that, or he did a summer abroad. It could be.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure.
We had a guy come back to high school after his summer abroad with a full-on fake Scottish accent, and he was in London.
Yeah. No, it's weird because it's not something that happens the other way around. I had friends who went to America for a period of time and they did not come back with an accent, but the other way, it always happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they just said router instead of router.
Yeah, that was it. It's very confusing. I have to talk to Time Warner sometimes.
Yeah.
I think a router is a thing that you stick in your toilet. So that isn't it?
Sure.
That's like that big long stick that plunges.
Stick?
Let's talk about droids.
Are you really stuffing sticks into your drain? It's supposed to be like a
the snake.
Yeah, that's not a stick.
Yeah.
Well, there's a stick part. There's a big hollow stick with a giant metal rod in it. Let's talk about droids.
This is an odd gap in your knowledge considering you did your own wallpaper and like you showed me a time-lapse video of you steaming your carpet. Like you're a very handy person, but this, you seem to have fallen down.
I'm also a very weird person for shooting a time-lapse video of me steaming my carpet.
You were so excited to show it. I thought it was cool. I liked it. By the way,
really was.
Is your bathtub just full of hair? because it just fills up and you're like, let me get that pipe with the, the hollow end in it and I'll just jam it in there. And I think you're talking about a curtain rod.
It's full of hair and some water and industrial junk. You know what it looks like? You know when they fall into that trash chute?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Trash
Yeah.
compact.
And that weird monster pops up.
Just throw some big pieces of plastic in there and you're all set.
That's great.
Exactly.
K2SO is interesting in that he is an Imperial droid who's been stolen and reprogrammed.
Mm-hmm.
So but he's programmed to rebel in a way. So he's rebelling against everybody all the time.
Yeah.
And I think he was designed to be sort of comedically on the spectrum.
Yes. He was a proto-Drax, I felt.
Yeah.
There's a Drax element to his.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He does have a very Drax thing about him.
Yeah.
That just totally on the nose. It's really funny. It's a really funny character. Alan Tudyk did a great job voicing him.
But ultimately, what makes a droid the best droid? Is it because they are funny? Is it how useful they are? Is it their importance to the overall story? Because in that case, that neither the droid from Solo nor the droid from Rogue One, although he does help steal the Death Star plans, which is an inciting event in the universe, neither of them are as integral as the other three.
No.
Right. They're no R5D4 with the bad motivator.
No.
Right.
Becky with the bad motivator. Is that anybody else think of that? Or is that just me?
Murdered by R2D2.
Murdered by R2D2. That's right.
Murdered by
on his new album Lemonade.
Oh, I would listen to that.
I'm sorry, L0M4D3.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I just don't think he's as integral. But,
No.
So we know our three.
Yeah. We got
Yeah. And also, I would argue we know our two.
I would concur.
You would concur?
But we need to talk about BB-8.
Oh, I would not concur, sir. I would
here we
not
go.
concur.
Let's let this happen.
Oh, you think it's R2D2 and BB-8?
Yeah, I do. Because I think C-3PO's a and I think he often is in the way, and I think he brings everyone down. And I
really hope, by the way, that whole word gets bleeped.
Oh, sorry.
So that our audience who is hearing your English voice wonders what word you used to describe C-3PO.
I mean, it's fine to put in there, but I kind of think we should bleep it. We'll who knows? That'll be a Ken decision. So it could have been bleeped at this point or not.
Exciting.
Sure.
So exciting. I just never liked C-3PO. I've never, and I do feel like if we're saying best, to me, the definition of best is like, most beloved definitely has to be in there.
Right.
Because otherwise, if you're saying best, what is your definition of best? That's also very tricky. Because then you do have to bring
we've been doing it for 3 years and we haven't figured out what best means yet.
So I think there has to be an emotional pull. Especially when it's something that is so emotive as Star Wars.
Yeah.
You don't think C-3PO is beloved?
No, I just kill him. Get rid of him.
I think he is he is less beloved. Certainly if it were between him and R2D2, it would be R2D2 and a walk.
Yeah.
Because not only are you're probably equally attached to both, but in terms of usefulness, you have R2D2's navigational computer, a mechanic, hot wires doors.
Yeah.
Helps put C-3PO, finish putting C-3PO back together.
He carries information.
Yeah.
He murders other droids, potentially.
Yeah.
Not canon. Not canon.
Not canon, but just assumed.
Assumed. I mean, he has a lot more uses. He makes himself a lot more useful than C-3PO, who just regularly just goes around saying offensive things to people. And I don't believe he is on the spectrum. I believe he is just not very nice.
Yeah. Yeah. No, C-3PO
He's snide.
is like if Woody Allen were British and a robot.
Oh my
tons
God.
of anxiety. But
also then now C-3PO is even more problematic. If he's Woody Allen.
That's right. Well, we don't know what his relationship
Again, not canon.
with that mouse droid was.
And also,
have you guys seen, by the way, have you seen this website that, it show where you can click on, canon, legend, like it tells you which stories are considered canon and which
was
are.
it written by my uncle?
Yeah.
I'm getting really worried because I haven't heard much from him.
It's been hard at work.
He is a doctor. There's no time for this. I was just going to say with C-3PO too, he's not even really trusted with the mission.
Yeah.
And he tries to dissuade Luke all the way along, at the beginning at least. He's just not trusted with anything. And he's just kind of a tag along.
Yeah, that's right. R2-D2 wants to leave, and C-3PO's like, let's stay here. I'm getting an oil bath.
Yeah, I enjoy this. This is nice for me.
Yeah. When R2-D2 goes to take a powder from the moisture farm, C-3PO's like, I'm going to stay here and have this bath, and then tells on him.
Yeah, immediately.
Like, which is helpful, but not in the way that he thinks it is.
Yeah, and even when C-3PO tries to display the message, he's like, oh, he's malfunctioning. It's fine. Ignore it. Don't look at this. Don't look at this.
Well, wasn't he dobbying at that point, trying to keep Luke out of it?
No, I don't think he knew. Because remember, they only erase.
Oh, that's right.
They only erase his memory at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
They're like, have the protocol droid's memory erased.
Yeah.
So R2-D2 is burdened with this horrible knowledge.
Poor R2-D2, who carries that knowledge from his best friend for some years. Not that many, actually, but you think it's loads, but not realistically that many.
Yeah.
But he has to hold that knowledge alone and carry that burden alone. He can't even tell his supposed best friend, who will grass him up at any given opportunity.
Yeah.
And would happily just spend his life with Uncle Owen just milking some blue cows, one assumes.
That's all he ever wanted.
Time.
With his weird flute fingers.
Yeah, that's all he wanted. He just wanted a nice, easy life.
I can only pinch the udders with my thumb. The cows hate me.
He does suggest to me that he would have opted not to take the hero's journey if he had the choice.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. He's never...
So you're saying that R2-D2 is the one that... if it weren't for R2-D2, Luke would not be a thing.
I don't know that they wouldn't have found another way to get to him.
Right.
But I don't think C-3PO helped.
That's a good point. He really wasn't greasing the wheel. The most useful he is when he negotiates their way out of being eaten by Ewoks.
Yes.
And even then...
Yeah, he is a god to the Ewoks.
But he has to have somebody else. He needs Luke's help. Because he's like, I don't know what to say. I guess I'll just watch you get eaten? Is that okay?
And
is
also,
that what I should do?
It does seem for a minute that he is going to do exactly that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It's been a fun ride, but maybe I'll just stay here and be a god.
Right.
And you guys are dinner.
By the way, as God, are there any blue cows I can milk?
Oh my God.
He gets to hang out with Leia. He likes her.
Yeah.
You know, he's just like, well, Luke, you know what? You've been nothing but trouble. If it weren't for you, I would currently be milking a blue cow.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm assuming the cows were blue because the milk is blue, but I don't know. Maybe they just eat something blue.
Blueberries.
Is it the same animal that he gets the blue milk from in the most recent movie?
I would like to think
episode
it
8?
was that enormous giant thing that he milks in a slightly unpleasant and suggestive fashion.
That is a really unpleasant scene.
They're massive. I mean, I guess the farm could be huge and they could just be free range and roaming wildly, but it's a very different
that's
terrain.
good.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a little more expensive at Whole Foods to get the free range stuff.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it's worth it. You get a glass bottle that you can get a nickel for when you bring it back.
Oh, you put a flour in it.
Yeah. Or you put a flour in it and put it on your desk.
I'll say this. We did an episode of this show a long time ago where after an hour of talking about the best superpower, I was convinced that it was the ability to speak a bajillion languages, for all the good that could do in the world. But C-3PO has proven to us that even if you have that ability, you're not necessarily going to use it for good in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I got raked over the coals for that opinion. So for that reason alone, I am perfectly willing to dunk C-3PO back into that vat, but this time it's not to clean him. It's to, it's like the dip from Roger Rabbit. It'll just
throw
melt
a lid
him.
on that thing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Every once in a while we hear like a dink dink of him trying to get out, but he's not going to fight that hard.
Poor shoe.
But as his hand sinks into it, he gives the thumbs up like Terminator.
He wouldn't even fight. He would just be like, oh, okay, if you think that's what's best.
Oh, I guess I'll take this.
Yeah. Also, he's massive, and that's impractical.
Yeah.
Do you want to have to polish him every weekend? I wouldn't.
No. He looks like he's just made of saxophones.
That's the best description of him I've ever heard.
Thank you.
C-3PO is a asshole made of saxophones.
Yes.
Everyone knows saxophones are assholes, so it's perfect.
Exactly. Why not make a droid out of them?
They've been forbidden in the Empire, and now they just have been made into droids.
So now we have R2-D2 and BB-8. Lindsay, why BB-8?
So I should just out myself immediately and explain that I do even have a BB-8 tattoo.
You do.
Which I have.
You do? Wow.
My best friends, we have matching BB-8s that we got in Vegas on a bachelor party. So maybe that doesn't lend it any credibility, but
fair.
We wanted to
Did you each get a B4?
I'm like, sure.
I'll see myself out, y'all.
No, we wanted to get a Star Wars tattoo. And we couldn't decide, and we were going to get a Death Star, an outline of a Death Star. And then we were like, that's a bit dark. So maybe we'll get a BB-8. And we had only it was right after Force Awakens. So we were deeply in BB-8 lost. And then I got really worried because I'm like, what if it turns out these sucks in the future movies? No such fear. Because BB-8, so this is my theory, is apart from R2-D2 being a sociopath, R2-D2 is like the cat, and BB-8 is the puppy. Because I feel like R2-D2 will just take himself off, deal with his own stuff, might not always seem like it's being super sensible or super safe to other people. It might not even seem like the thing that you want it to do. But he's doing it regardless. And it's all ultimately going to work out for the best. Even in Last Jedi, when he's just like, I'm asleep now. Even though you're not, you're just being a person. You're just being a cat. Yeah, he's like, I am asleep. Which is what cats do. Like, it's like, don't bother me. I'm asleep. Yes. I'm hiding. I don't want to deal with anyone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I have this super important thing in me that would help you find Luke Skywalker, which could save the day. But nah, I'm good. I'm just going to sit here and take a nap. But then BB-8 is constantly out there trying to help, trying to do good things, trying to get back to his master, trying to fix things, just always with a positive attitude, even with his own little thumbs up. He smashed his own head.
That thumbs up is my favorite moment in the movie.
He smashed his own head into the control panel at the start of Last Jedi to keep him going. Like, he's prepared to sacrifice himself. He also jumps into that big ship at the end of Last Jedi and rescues everyone.
Yeah.
Like, by just killing a bunch of people.
Yep.
But for the greater good. So this is where I feel like BB-8 is a much more self-sacrificing, greater good droid. Whereas R2-D2 is on his mission and he does want to help and he does want to solve the problem, but he's going to do it in his own cat-like ways.
Do you think, though, he is willing, because he does get electrocuted a couple times trying to do stuff.
I'm not saying he's smart.
But I mean, he is willing to sacrifice himself to open up.
Oh, so when BB-8 does it, it's a sacrifice. When R2-D2 does it, it's because he's not smart and he screwed
I
up.
assumed it was implied that the puppy's dumb. So it's like, the puppy is a hero with a heart of gold, but he's pretty, he's not always that smart.
Yeah.
R2-D2, he's so capricious and moody, and I know he's doing his mission, but sometimes do you want to shake him? Like, just shake him a little bit. Not a lot though.
But doesn't that make for a more interesting character?
Yeah, I'm totally.
If you do have a moody droid,
I am on board. I would go either way. I love both of them. I obviously have like childhood nostalgia for R2-D2 that can never be undone. I was obsessed with him as a little kid. I did enjoy the Ewoks, but that's on me. I was a child. I was a girl child.
Fair enough.
I loved R2-D2 and I still love R2-D2. But there is also something, I feel bad for BB-8 that I feel like he has taken some of the ire of the more modern Star Wars bashing.
Yeah, that's not fair.
When I feel like it's entirely undeserved. He is an excellent character and an excellent loyal droid.
I agree with you. I think he is great. I'm excited to see him next movie. The current trilogy that is in process lacks the sort of cartoony character for the kids, which I'm happy about. I think BB-8 is a good in for a kid because he's a cute droid, but also serves a function. In Last Jedi, he fixes like 5 different problems with Poe Dameron's ship at the same time. Like, he lowers in addition to being a navigational computer, he lowers himself in and is fixing stuff, which you assume R2-D2 to be doing as well, but you actually get to see him in action, so you can see how capable he is.
Do you think, what do you think BB-8 is loyal to? Do you think BB-8 is loyal to the mission, the rebellion, Poe?
Ultimately, it's Poe. I think he and Poe are a beautiful, beautiful thing. Because Poe built him, right? Like, he's Poe's droid and Poe loves him and he loves Poe and it's really, really lovely. But I do believe because he loves Poe so much and because he knows that Poe's priority is the mission, he would prioritize the mission over Poe if he had to.
Do you think if Poe defected to the First Order that he would be like, all right, let's go set fire to Rey? Or do you think he would...
Go find me that black paint, spray paint me up real good.
Do you think he would have a crisis of conscience?
I think now that he is bonded with Rey also, like maybe he would have a crisis of conscience. Because I do think, and he's met R2 and now they've had their little moment where This is it. BB-8 rolls in with this extra bit of the map, and then R2's suddenly, oh, how was I asleep? Was I out for a while? I just went to sleep for a minute. Hey, guys.
Here's my butt.
Now. Yeah, here's my butt. Here's the map. Here's Luke. I guess, oh, you were waiting for this? Oh, I'm sorry. Has he been missing for a while? What?
Let me ask you another question about loyalty. I think if it came down to BB-8 having to choose between Poe's life and the rebellion, what do you think he would choose?
I think he would choose the rebellion because he would know that that's what Poe would want him to choose.
Right. I don't think R2-D2 would have a second thought about choosing the rebellion.
He would probably, if it was a choice between saving Luke's life or saving the rebellion, he would shoot Luke in the face. he would do it without a second thought. If it was
I will say this
by Ewoks, do you know what would have happened at the end of Jedi?
Yeah, he would have been fine. He would have
been like, "Let me start the fire for you guys. I have this quirky little thing." Yeah, there you go.
I have another point in BB-8's favor, and that is locomotion and maneuverability. Because his method of moving, just a lightning fast ball that inexplicably can roll across sand, but that speed, the agility, the maneuverability of just a perfect sphere that can do whatever it wants.
One of my favorite scenes, though, from A New Hope is watching them go to the hangar. They go down steps to get to the hangar where the Falcon's being kept. And you see R2-D2, if you wonder how R2-D2 deals with stairs, you see it, because BB-8 will just roll down and his head will pop off and then it'll magnetize back on, no problem. But R2-D2's like shimmying, you see how he deals with stairs. And it's a weird, it's a weird shimmy, but he makes it work. I guarantee you he doesn't want anybody to help him. He's like, no, I can do that.
He's a cat.
Yeah.
He's like, I got up the tree, I'll get down the tree.
Yeah, get away.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of my favorite BB-8 moments and I think it was in Force Awakens, is when we see him go down some stairs and it's really heavy.
Yeah.
There's and it's such a good special effect. I thought that was so smart, because one of my big problems with the prequels was the special effects made everything look really light and easy and flimsy. And I know that's the technology at the time, but that was one of my absolute favorite moments from Force Awakens, when he rolls down some steps and it's so heavy and clunky. I was like, oh, I believe he's weighty. I believe there is heft to BB-8.
Yeah, you get a sense of him. Yeah. A really good sense of him.
And it made him feel more real in that little tiny moment.
Let me ask this.
Okay.
Does it put R2-D2 over the top for anyone else besides me? This sequence of Return of the Jedi where he appears on the deck and fires a lightsaber out of his head. And you realize that everything that he has done has been part of a master plan and by design. So he knows that he's going to get assigned to the sail barge. He knows that everybody else, he knows where C-3PO is going to wind up, and he's able to be exactly where he needs to be. For
there's so many assumptions.
Maybe the coolest. Look, this is a lot. This is canon, clearly. But all of this was by some design, obviously. Just that sequence.
I say I love him, and I love R2-D2, and yes, I mean it's fantastic. It's hard to compare because obviously he's been in our hearts a lot longer and existed a lot longer than BB-8. But I'm like, who knows if BB-8's got a lightsaber?
That's true.
He could have all kinds of things in there.
He could have.
I know. It's just that it's that spirit to me that makes the difference of R2-D2 being, like I say, cat-like, and BB-8 would just hurl himself into it regardless.
Yeah.
Maybe it isn't by design. Maybe he doesn't know if he can fix it, but he's gonna do his best.
What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we have so much more canon of R2-D2. I think what you were saying, Hal, about having that lightsaber inside him, it does, that gels well with the version of R2-D2 that is in, I realize this is also not canon, William Shakespeare's Star Wars, if you've ever read those. Have you ever read those, Lindsay?
I have not read those. No. I haven't.
It is the story of Star Wars, as they're wonderful. And now you know two people who have.
Is it your uncle?
It might be. Uncle Richard.
Oh my God. This uncle, is he in the room? I'm not there. Is he in the room just with his arms folded, shaking his head?
I feel like he is.
He's never far.
Oh my God.
He's never far.
But in those books, R2-D2, speaks eloquently. He delivers many soliloquies throughout, and speaks to a lot to destiny and fate, and how this is his destiny and he is ready for it, and it is all predetermined and he is on this path. It's very Calvinist.
I don't know that I buy that.
That's
I
a
would
lot.
I reject that as canon, but I like that it exists.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel.
Oh, you reject William Shakespeare's Star Wars as canon?
Yeah, I reject it, Mark. It's hard to believe.
What do you think the Bard has to say about that, Hal?
I think he can put his Avon right up his Stratford. Upon his Stratford.
I know that you also reject George Lucas's Love's Labor's Lost.
I'm not a fan of that either.
I understand.
But I did enjoy his Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is a revelation.
It's wonderful.
I think it just all boils down to this idea of R2 having his mission and adhering to the mission regardless, and just single focus, and that's all he's focused on is achieving this mission. With BB-8, I feel like it is much more of him being just good-hearted and brave and throwing himself into it regardless of what it is. I don't think he knows necessarily what the end mission is. He's just like, this is what they need me to do right now, and I'm just going to do it. And it's, which one of those is the best? Is it something that adheres to its mission and maybe sometimes is a word I can't say, but also a sociopath? Or is it the good-hearted, kind-spirited, heroic, brave little soldier who's just doing his best?
Isn't R2-D2 a little bit of a protector, though? I mean, if you think about it on Dagobah, he's the one that alerts Luke.
He is when it's in his...
Please, Italian-American Ba.
Sorry, Italian-American Ba, where... I'm sorry that I even thought that was... so good. I just want to enjoy that for a second.
Let it sit. Let it sit.
Take a deep breath. There we go. He is a protector.
He is.
In some ways.
And don't get me, I'm not trying to make it negative. I myself would
you really
definitely
loaded that
beat
question,
the
Lindsay.
R2-D2. Like,
Right.
I'm a sociopath and a cat. You can't see me, but I'm a cat.
Yeah, this is true.
I definitely would, if I had to choose.
Wait, way to bury the lead.
Yeah.
You're an actual real-life
I
cat?
try to keep it to myself, but yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
It's her business.
It's no one's business. I would definitely put myself in that camp of like, I have a mission and this is what I'm going to do, and you would have to like forgo certain things. I am not a puppy human. I'm not a throw myself into a situation and try my hardest and help everyone
But
else.
is that what you wish you were?
Terrible. No, it looks like such hard work.
But you're glad that BB-8 exists.
Yes,
you're glad that
yes.
exists in the world.
And I love
that's
him
not
for
you.
it because
see.
I feel like if I had to choose, no, would I? Because this is it. Maybe this is how we decide. Which droid would you choose to have as your droid?
Who would be your wing droid?
Oh.
For me, it would be R2-D2 because BB-8 seems like he is always following.
Mm-hmm.
And R2-D2 seems like he looks like he's following, but is actually leading.
Yeah. Good call.
And if there were things that I wasn't certain about, if I was unsure about my mission or what was going on, I could look to R2-D2 more than I could look to BB-8. Because I think BB-8 would be like, hey, buddy, your guess is as good as mine, but I'm on board.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Yes, exactly that.
Will you straighten my antenna?
Oh, you
Yeah, you have to.
Oh, his little antenna.
I think I agree. I think I would rather have R2 with me.
Yeah.
Also, because he might have a lightsaber in there that he'll shoot in the air that I could catch.
But he put the thumbs up.
That's true. He doesn't have the thumbs up.
If my romantic choices have taught me anything, is that I should make these choices for myself. Because I will not choose the right one. Because I feel like BB-8 probably would be better for me, because maybe he would be more positive.
Right.
And, but I know ultimately I would choose R2-D2.
Well, then there you go. I think we have our decision. So
I think so. The sociopath cat.
People of the world, your droid sociopath cat is the winner. R2-D2. You knew it was going to be one of these three.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's look, I'm glad you liked Rogue One and I'm glad you liked Solo. Those droids weren't winning. No. They just didn't have enough. No. I love Alan Tudyk. He's great.
Waller-Bridge, incredible.
Yeah, also incredible. But it's R2-D2. The greatest. Think of all the things. I mean, he's been in every single movie.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah.
He's
Maybe was
central.
old.
He's the Fred Willard of this universe.
He's the only character that came out clean.
Yeah.
Despite being in all the films.
And he keeps his friend C-3PO alive, even if it means shoving him off of a skiff.
Yeah.
And into the sand.
We've all thought about it.
Yeah. We've all wanted to shove him. I'm sure
Lindsey
was like,
really wants to kill C-3PO.
Archie's like,
Just not keen.
That's my takeaway.
Just not keen.
Archie's like, if I shove him the other way, he'll fall into the Sarlacc. Nobody would know. It could be like, beep, boop, beep, beep. And they'd be like, it's fine.
And they would just get you another one.
That's right. But he stays loyal to his friend, R2-D2, the greatest Star Wars droid, asked and answered, Lindsey, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was so much fun.
Oh my gosh. This was a blast. We'll do it again when we're all in the same room.
Yay.
And cover something else.
Thank you so much for being here.
People should be listening to Tights and Fights, which we are both on.
Yes, please do.
Not
Full
familiar.
Coverage Beauty podcast.
Yes.
Some of your books. What books do you want to plug?
So I have a book out now that you can buy called 1 in a Million. I hear it's funny. It better be. took a bunch of time.
Yeah.
It's a book called 1 in a Million, and I have a children's book coming out this spring, also called Cinders and Sparks, which you can pre-order now.
There you go. Get all that information. And you're at Lindsey Kelk.
I'm at Lindsey Kelk all over the place.
Everywhere. Easy. With an E.
Yes.
Not an A, people. Yes. Please, she's a proper British lady. This topic is settled, but there's so many more out there, and we want to hear from you. So send us an email. We got this podcast at gmail.com. And how about some droid gifts at facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast.
Or you can reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets, or check out the Maximum Fun subreddit. Who knows? A tiny thumbs up BB-8 flame war might be happening right now.
Thank you to our special guest producer for this episode, Julian Burrell of Tights and Fights fame, and our regular producer.
Yeah, thanks, Julian.
Yes.
That's a pretty low bar you have for fame right there.
Let's take it where you can get it, man. Take it where you can get it. This is the podcasting world. Just take it where you can get it. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, for giving us this opportunity to sit and talk about stuff that we love and to get real nerd deep on some of these droids. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoy talking. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.